Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your fortnight ahead forecast with me, Raphael. So before we get into it, I just want to say a massive thank you so much for all of your support this year. Your keys to the week, or should I say the fortnight, are the Chariot card and the Death card. So in a lot of ways, this does suggest that this fortnight for you is about moving towards the completion of things, not just the completion of the year, but this is about you making some very hard and fast decisions. This is where you kind of say to yourself, okay, you know what, this is what I am done with, this is what I'm ready to complete. And in a lot of ways, this does suggest that you are, and I'm going to sort of explain what I mean. In a way, this is a victory over or a conquering of death. Now, we know that's not possible in terms of like a biological sense, but what I mean by this is something that's come to an end. This is where you truly are about to get your phoenix on, right? This is where you are truly going to rise in a blaze of glory in some way, shape or form. This is where you are going to either reinvest into or rebirth yourself in some way, shape or form. That Chariot card, really, it's a lot of power and it is a victory and success card, but this is you having a victory over with death. And what this means is you're finding a way to transmute something that's come to an end, something that's come to a close, maybe something that you never thought would come to an end, maybe something that you had wished and hoped would come to an end. But either which way, this is about you transcending an experience and saying, I am now ready to move beyond this, and I actually am ready to conquer it. So it's like you're putting your smarts, your energy, your power, your direction into, moving beyond a circumstance that was maybe out of your control. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and options with the world at large this week, this fortnight, you have the Knight of Wands. So this is an energy that you guys are very familiar with. This to me is always like Saggy energy, right? And because you've got this in your actions, this is about you going after what you're passionate about, but it's also about you going after your tribe or seeking out your people. Now, yes, this can mean your family or your closest or your chosen family, because this is, after all, the holiday season, but this really feels like something more long-term than that. This is a big focus on the future. It's almost like you saying, you know what, I know where I'm heading and I know who or what it is that I'm going to need in order to get there. Because of the options aspect of this energy as well, the options that are available to you over the next fortnight, I think you're going to have more time, more space and more freedom to really think about what it is that you want to do, what it is that you're trying to create for yourself, and where the experience that you've already had not only shapes that, but more importantly, it becomes like the springboard that you kind of jump off and launch yourself out into the world with or on. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Seven of Swords. All right, so you've got this underneath the Chariot card. The Chariot card is number 7. 2 sevens represents news. Be very mindful of the news, the information that is shared with you over the course of this fortnight, because it does look like some of the information that you're getting is not quite accurate. Remember, the Seven of Swords can represent lies and deceit. Doesn't necessarily mean those things are happening to you, but it does suggest that some of the information that you're getting over this next fortnight is not quite as either above board, or it's not quite as and sometimes the case of these matters is, right, let's say somebody has a certain skill set or certain knowledge, but they haven't updated that. And so, what they're giving you, to them, to their best ability, is what they're giving you. That's them honestly giving you the best that they can give you. If they are wrong because they don't have updated knowledge, the information that you're getting is still wrong or not necessarily good information for that current moment. And so I wonder if some of the information that you get this week, it may not necessarily be an outright lie, but it might need updating somewhere. So it's not so much take it with a pinch of salt, but just do be mindful that whatever somebody is giving you by the way of information, it may not necessarily be as on point as they believe it to be. Now, another way that this could also show up, this could also, because you've got the Knight of Wands, right? So this could be you looking at friendships, group associations. This comes in here with the Death card as well. For some of you, this might be a break with some of the ties that you have in that friendship or professional sort of arena. So just something to think about. Now, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, if you get a no this over the course of this next fortnight, if there's something that you've asked for, requested, or said, you know, stated as a desire, if you get a no, just take it on the chin for now, because at some point I feel like there's going to be a backtrack on this. Or like, I don't know why, but well, I know why. That's the feeling that I get from it. So it's like, you might be kind of like, I can't believe they said no, or, you know, like, this was a reasonable request, why am I not getting it? Don't worry too much about it, because you'll get a second shot at this apple, and when you do, it'll go through in the way that you want it to. For those of you that are employed, excuse me, by another person, look, if this is the case, like if you're employed by somebody else, and again, the information that you are getting, intuitively you might believe that one set of events is going to take place, and your boss or your superior might be saying, you know, no, that's not the case, but you know what you know on that intuitive level. Again, maybe not necessarily that this person is lying to you, but you have your finger way more on the pulse than they do, and that may actually serve you into the future, especially if a problem arises around something that you say to a boss. So just a really basic example. Let's say you work in hospitality and you say to your boss, we don't have enough napkins, all right? Like, this is just a really basic, small sort of example. And, you know, your boss or your supervisor or whatever is like, oh, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, like, and they kind of shoot it down. And then a whole thing happens because of this, and you're like, yeah, okay. It's not necessarily about the event, it's about who's watching this play out. And I feel like a superior is observing you being better at your boss or your superior at this moment in time. So don't fret. When it comes to, you know, the rewards from that will come later. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, I'm gonna smack. If over the course of this next 2 weeks you try to convince yourself that you should go and get a normal job like everybody else, or that you should go back to working for somebody else, your brain, your history, or someone else in your circle is lying to you, child, and you need to ignore that, right? All jokes aside, do not let anything, even potentially a challenging situation that may arise over the next fortnight, and it's like, you know, it's holiday season and now I've got to fix this at the same time. Even that, don't let that convince you that you are not on your right path, because you absolutely are. When it comes to your those of you that are retired and no longer working for any reason, be careful of the heartstrings or the leverage that somebody tries to pull on you, because they know that your heart is involved in whatever it is, all right? So if any sort of dispute comes up with family or friends or colleagues, etc., and they start sort of digging in that place where they know you're a little bit tender, be mindful of that. For your love and relations, you've got the Eight of Swords. So look, you've got a progression of the cards here, the Seven of Swords, the Eight of Swords. For those of you that have loved ones in the spirit world, the message here is you need to free yourself. Don't look to anybody else to get you out of a certain situation. And this doesn't even have to be around your relationship. It can just literally be a situation where you feel like you're stuck. Your loved one from beyond the grave, who is probably a man or a masculine sort of presenting woman, is trying to get that message across to you. You are not as stuck as you think you are. So get up and get on. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, There might be some hard discussions over the next couple of weeks about your relationship and about whether it is right for you. All right. Not all of you. It's not going to be for all of you, but for some of you, that is a potential. And I wish I could have given you a brighter message around this. For others, this could also be that you have that conversation, and it is the Eight of Swords, and you say, okay, you know what? As long as as long as it takes to fix this between us, I'm invested. We're going to fix it. We're going to make this better. All right. So that's really, really great. For those of you that are single, just don't do it. This is not a week for love, relationships. Just because of the cards, you could potentially have some banter. You could potentially get yourself into a bit of a sticky situation that ends up lingering in some way. You need to, only you can answer for yourself. If that's what you want, get after it. If it's not, just be mindful. When it comes to money, materials, you've got the Moon card, and you've got this with the Seven of Swords. Right, when it comes to money, finances, and research, this is a lot of water. All right, that's a lot of water. You've got the Death card, Scorpio. You've got the Chariot, Cancer. You've got the Moon card, Pisces. You've got the whole water trinity, right, in this one reading alone. And so what this tells me is emotions are going to be very high for you over the course of this next 2 weeks. There are going to be some moments where you're kind of a little bit not even just over reflective, but there's going to be a couple of moments maybe over this next 2 weeks where you're sort of identifying your life now, but through the guise of the past. And it's really important that you try to snap out of that. When it comes to your finances, especially with the Seven of Swords, be mindful around any conversation that you have around finances, money, or anything to do with a financial nature. When it comes to communications or conversations that you have this week, take it with a pinch of salt. Don't make any solid plans when it comes to money this week, because the energy just is not there. When it comes to your home and environment, this could be a space of nourishment and nurturing. It could be very emotional. It could be, you know, you could have everything from happy joy tears to sort of like, oh no, I'm too drunk tears, you know, and all of the ones in between, right? So just be mindful of that. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I kind of get the feeling, because it's the Moon, right? So this fortnight, for the women amongst you and for the men, right? This could be a week where a fortnight actually where you're a bit more hormonal than usual. And so if you find your mood doing this, I'm not a doctor, not diagnosing, but if you find your mood really oscillating, it's probably your hormone balance. And I can definitely vouch for this. I mean, maybe a part of this is that I am a lunar being anyway, because I have the Moon in Cancer in my chart. But I tell you, lunar transits, I feel them. Like, I'm full on werewolf. Like the day before, the day of, and the day after the full moon, I'm like, hush. Like, I'm a lot better with it now because I know how to manage it, because I know that it's coming. But man, like, I feel moon transits, and I notice a lot of guys around the moon, they get a little bit, we get a bit feral. I mean, I'm a bit of a skittish feral cat, as one of my friends once described it. Anyway, but yeah, just watch out for that, you know, especially the guys amongst you that are watching, or for those of you that are cross-watching for your guys, just be mindful of, I mean, we don't have a full moon, but I feel like the hormones will probably be a little bit all over the place over the course of this next fortnight. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff from my heart to yours. Thank you so much for all of your support over the course of this year and beyond. For those of you that have been with me for longer, it really does mean the absolute world to me. I'm so very grateful. Whether you celebrate Yule, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Eid, whatever it is that you do or don't celebrate, I really hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Remember with this stuff as well, the challenges are there to really enhance the blessings, and also to show you how in many spaces and places of our lives we are a lot more lucky and fortunate than we realize, and you have the ability to transcend all of these challenges this week, this fortnight. So whatever happens, you are going to be absolutely fine. All right. With that said, take care. It's been my honor to serve you this year, and I will do so again next year. Take care, and I'll see you soon.